Alright guys, in this video I'm going to talk to you about the one time I was lost in the jungles of Samar, all for a Filipina girl. Stick around and I'll tell you the story. Alright guys, so when I got here back in 2016, well, I had dated for about 3 months, or I was in a relationship very short period of time for about 3 months. I decided, you know, I'm in this great place. There's a lot of beautiful women, and it really hadn't been that long since I had went through a divorce. So I wanted to kind of enjoy being single, like a lot of guys when they first come out here. And so I was single, and I really didn't just date exclusively like maybe in the Cebu area where I was living. I was open to meeting girls who were in different areas, and I had started to chat with a girl who was on the island of Samar. Now, Samar is one of those islands that really a lot of foreigners really just don't get to because it's not really anything there, nothing big. You know, there's not a lot of big tourist sites there. People usually go, you know, to Cebu and Dumaguete, Bohol, and you know, the Manila area, but nobody really gets out to Samar so much. So she was in a city called Calbayog, and they basically had one flight going into Calbayog from Cebu and out back in 2016 anyway. So I took this flight out to Calbayog, and there she was. She met me at the airport. She was a nice girl. You know, we didn't really have a ton in common, but I was going to be there for I think 4 nights. It was a little bit of a school break for me. I was teaching, you know, I was training Filipino teachers in Cebu City during that time. I was working at that English school, and I had a 4-day weekend anyway. So went out there, decided to meet her, and she meets me at the airport. Like I said, we get to the hotel, and she's like, you know, she shows me around the town, and I'm thinking, it's a decent town, you know, it's a decent city. I stayed at the only one decent hotel in the whole city, I think, because there really wasn't anything really nice. There wasn't really any shopping mall at the time. There was just these small little, like a grocery store and maybe a department store upstairs, but nothing really bigger than that. So she said, well, you know what, my family lives a couple hours from Calbayog, a little bit off, you know, in the province. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, that's fine. And she said, well, you know, I would love for you to meet them. And I was thinking at that time, I was like, well, it'll be kind of fun. It'll be a little bit of an adventure. So we get on this jeepney, and the jeepneys in Calbayog, Samar were even smaller than the jeepneys that I see around Cebu and Dumaguete. Much, much lower. And so the whole time I'm like bent over like this, or I'm sitting with my head out the little window on the side, and I'm only 5'9". And so imagine if you're like 6 foot. But by the time we get to our destination, I'm literally like, my back is hurting, my neck is hurting from this crouch position. But we're driving along, and we're really getting into some rural places where I don't even see any homes anymore. I don't even see little, you know, nipa huts or anything. And she rings I guess she takes the coin and bangs it on the bar. That's kind of how to signal that, hey, this is my stop, you know, please pull over. Jeepney driver pulls over, and she says, we're here. And I'm looking around, and there's nothing but jungle, just jungle. And I'm like, we're here? I don't see anything. She's like, oh, we have to walk a little ways. I'm like, okay. So we get out of the jeepney, and we're heading down the hillside through a little path through the jungle. And it's about a 5-minute walk, and we come up to a riverbank. There's a river there. And there's a whistle hanging from the tree. And she takes the whistle and blows it. And about 5-10 minutes later, she's telling me what's going on, but there's a little boat coming around the bend, and it's one of those boats with no motor or nothing. It's just the guy standing up with a pole pushing it through the water. And he comes around, and I'm like, oh, what is next? And so boat comes over and he takes us and he brings us across to the other side of the riverbed. We pay like 5 pesos. So I think the jeepney ride was 20 pesos, 50 pesos, I don't know. Anyway, we get across and then we get on another path and we're walking probably 30 minutes, and I see a little village, really small village, nestled right up alongside the mountainside. And as we approach, literally every kid in the village, every person in this little village come running out. And so we're walking along and there's dogs and there's chickens and goats and kids running behind us, smiling and laughing. And I felt like I was the Pied Piper, just this whole trail of farm animals and kids and stuff trailing behind us. And we get to their parents' house. So I go in and I meet the parents, and the whole front room was kind of open, like big windows, kind of open air. There wasn't even any windows, and an open doorway. And so while I'm sitting in the living room, we're having water and a couple of snacks. Still, all the kids from the entire little village are there. And they're there just like watching, like peeking in through the window, smiling and giggling, and you wave at them and they start laughing. It's like I literally was like the first foreigner that had entered that village. And it was just the most amazing experience, just to feel like you've just discovered a long lost tribe in the Amazon forest or something. But we ended up going to a waterfall and going swimming out in the mountain. It was about another 45-minute hike, and the cousin climbs up a coconut tree and he brings down fresh coconut for us to drink. But it was just an amazing experience, and even though there really wasn't any kind of love connection with us, just the experience of getting out way into the jungle and to experience it was amazing. So, when you come out here, don't be afraid to go meet some girls that are kind of way out in the province. Sometimes it can be one heck of an adventure. Now, you may not want to stay there or overnight there, but just to go visit for the day is sometimes just such a unique experience that I recommend it. It's just an amazing time. I still kind of fondly look back at it. Not the girl. Again, we had no chemistry whatsoever. We met, and but just the experience of 2 hours out of the city and getting off in the jungle and going down a trail and blowing a whistle, and a little boat comes around the corner and ferries us across the river. We hike 30 minutes to the little village nestled alongside the mountainside. It was just an awesome experience. And again, I've had a few of these, not quite to this extreme, but if you get a chance, don't only look for girls who are just right in the city. Some of the best girls might be way off in a little village that has never seen a foreigner before. There still are a lot of little province towns that have never seen a foreigner. That still happens. It still happens. Now, be safe about it. Obviously, there are, like NPA, which is the New People's Army. It's like the communist fraction here. They usually don't mess with foreigners. It's usually Filipino against Filipino there. But sometimes they're up in the mountains. So you want to be careful. You want to check into it a little bit before you go out to some of these places. Obviously, southern Mindanao, like the Zamboanga del Sur area, you want to stay away from. But other areas in Mindanao, for me, are perfectly safe. Again, if you don't feel comfortable, then don't. You can always, if you've met a girl in that Zamboanga area, you can always have her come out to where you are, pay a plane ticket, and have her come out to Cebu or Davao or something like that. But the point of this video is you can have some really cool, interesting experiences, but don't just search for a girl who's in Cebu City, Dumaguete, Manila. You know, open it up to the entire country of the Philippines, and you never know what girl you might meet, or what adventure. More importantly, you might not meet a good girl or the right girl, but you might end up having one heck of an adventure that you can share with your friends and family, just like I'm sharing this story with you guys. So thanks again for listening to my story. I hadn't even thought about it for so long, and I don't know why I thought about it again, but it just kind of came back to me, and I thought I would share it with you guys. Hopefully you found it kind of interesting. And don't forget to check out my website, guys. I just finished updating again my moving or traveling out to the Philippines free PDF file. You can download it, print it, or just save it on your computer. It's right on the main webpage. Click on free moving out to the Philippines PDF file, and there it is for you to have, and hopefully that will help you out. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Sweet honey, let's take it real soon.